Good day, and welcome to the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality video log. We are at Newtown, Johannesburg at the 2018 South African Urban Conference, discussing pertinent issues around urbanization. My name is Kipido Baron. I'm a Media Management Officer of the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, and I have the privilege today to speak with the CEO of SA Cities Network, Mr. Sithole Mbanga. Sir, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, the conference sees a lot of role players like Salga, SA Cities Network, local government, COPTA, coming together to talk about the integrated urban development framework and other issues. What do you think political leaders and citizens should take away from this conference?
Firstly, let me thank you for attending the conference and, of course, using your tools to broadcast what's coming out of the conference. I saw also some colleagues from the Mandela Bay Development Agency.
Absolutely.
So it was good that you guys came as a strong contingent. Let me talk firstly about what the South African Cities Network is. So way back in 2000, when South Africa, just following the euphoria around democracy, South Africa had taken a position that local government will be a sphere of government, not a level of government. So in other words, it is government. It cannot be dictated to, but neither can it dictate.
Exactly.
We have to negotiate, we have to see each other's points of view. And one of the things that local government had realized was that we are putting in place a new system of local government when in fact we are facing urbanization, people movement, generally for anthropological reasons. But I think in South Africa, it was also by mere effect of the fact that democracy was now around and you could move anywhere. We then knew we needed to understand this phenomena so as to be able to help the policy-making machinery of government, so that there's evidence. We produce policy that is evidence-based. Government is responsible for policy making.
Yes.
Business implements, is in the business of implementing and creating business opportunities and jobs. Society is in the business of saying we would like both our business citizens and the government to provide us with an environment in which we can advance in a better life. So this conference comes in the backdrop of massive urbanization that South Africa. By 2050, it's predicted that 80% of South Africans will be living in an urban area of one form or the other. And I'm saying one form or the other because urban is not necessarily anti-rural. If you go to places like Mthatha and KSD, you go to places like Alice, there's formation that's taking place there.
Exactly.
And that's the act of urbanization. And that's the background to this particular conference.
Thank you. You touched a number of salient points, but I would like also, if you could, look at our situation as the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality specifically. We are much smaller than the bigger cosmopolitan municipalities, and with it, we have the opportunity to develop, but doing it smartly.
Correct.
How can our leaders and citizens look at this and influence government's work through planning and interaction?
Okay. Well, look, the leadership of the Bay, the Nelson Mandela Bay, that entire metropolitan area. Firstly, the mayor is not the only leader. In other words, the municipality as an institution is one of many other institutions. You've got the business sector, you've got the chamber, you've got civil society organizations. You also have organizations that are in the business of creativity, innovation, research, and all of those things. So there's an opportunity for the Nelson Mandela Bay, precisely because it's smaller by size and magnitude to compare to the likes of Johannesburg. There's an opportunity to rethink where the city is going and think about it in a very sustainable ways. What urbanization is doing to our cities across South Africa is that it's placing pressure on the infrastructure. The infrastructure for transportation, the infrastructure to deliver water, the infrastructure for sanitation, the infrastructure for electricity, you name it. All the types of inputs that grow the economy or contribute to the growth of the economy are steadily going to be under pressure. So the Bay has an opportunity to respond to that futuristically and not be engaged in a much more difficult effort in the way that the likes of Johannesburg, Cape Town are likely to experience, which is equivalent to retrofitting. Because the last thing you want is to encourage sprawl. You want better densities. You want more people using the same amount of pipe for water than few. That, in that way, you're creating efficiencies. You want to reduce the travel time from the place of work to the place of stay for the average worker that is there, right? You want to reduce those things because when workers have more time to be at work and also to be at home, the effect of that is that our workers are able to take care of family, but also take care of work, which is what provides food on their table. And that's the efficiencies that we are basically talking about.
That's fantastic because you're touching on this on spatial planning. We do have a legacy of certain communities were put on the outskirts of town and they had to travel, large parts of the day to work and so on. How can government make that change in implementation now?
So let me just make the situation worse. There are instances in the various studies that we have looked at which indicate that there are certain families, households, that travel on average 4 hours a day to and from work. Right? You lost 4 hours on the road. And what is the result? What causes all of that? One, the means of public transportation are not efficient. In certain instances, they're just not there, right? Two, the whole notion of a single car for each individual, where we are not sharing means of transportation. All those things contribute to that type of inefficiency that I'm talking about. So what do we need to do? We need to change, firstly, I think, our attitude. I think we need to first understand that we are human beings, accept each other as human beings, and then understand that at it we are also South Africans. There's a very particular South African way, reconciliatory way in which we need to understand that those that are privileged need to understand that those that are underprivileged are also needing to be part and parcel of the cake called democracy.
Exactly.
They also need to benefit from it. And they can only benefit from it materially. Yeah? By having efficient ways of going to work, better places to work, to play, to also stay. And that's, I think, what the objective of the IUDF, the Integrated Urban Development Framework, seeks to do. Undo the apartheid space and create spaces for a non-racial society.
Exactly. One
that is inclusive, that doesn't discriminate, that encourages diversity and all those principles that are entailed in the Bill of Rights.
I think we came to the end of our interview. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
It was brilliant talking with you.
Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we heard from the man. Clever futuristic thinking, strategic thinking, implement smarter, and make sure you're more efficient. Thank you very much.